Boxing has a quirky way of scoring. It's round by round, and unless there's a knockdown, it's just 1 point per round. Yeah. So sometimes you could see a fight at the end, you go, fighter A won. But when you break it down round by round, you go, oh, I guess it was 6-6.
Wishing you nothing but the best. Everybody believes you're a rising star, and I hope it proves true. And thus far, you're doing your thing. Congratulations to you.
And some people maybe don't. How good is Shakur Stevenson in your opinion?
He's not good, he's great. And I think tomorrow the world will take notice of how great he is. There's a reason why certain fighters didn't want to take the chance to step in the ring with this fighter.
Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman applauded Shakur's velocity and cadence, noting he appeared razor-sharp, disciplined, and thoroughly dominated Teofimo. They emphasized the stark contrast between two distinct body types, with one clearly representing superior boxing culture and technique.
Shakur can punch way better to the body than Lomo can.
Loma
He's a
has
totally
more
different type
power
of
at
animal.
his weight than Shakur has had so
That's
far.
for sure.
His weight.
No, I agree with this. Shakur is longer than Loma and naturally bigger, but you can't say that Shakur's ahead of Loma. He has not proven that yet. Maybe he will be, but man, that's a lot. Very few fighters.
He's a great.
Yeah,
But who's your favorite fighter, though, Shady?
Bro,
and still, he's telling you.
And Shady also loves Teo. Shady's a big Teo fan.
That's why one thing about your boy, I keep it 1,000. I don't have no favorites.
Max Kellerman expressed zero shock at the outcome, pointing out that Teofimo previously fell to Kambosos, a fighter far less talented than Shakur Stevenson, making this result entirely predictable.
Question, even in the loss that he had against Kambosos, where he had a puncture, like he had some medical condition in his esophagus that was dangerous actually, and it looked like an off night. By the way, George Kambosos doesn't like when I say this, and I apologize. I understand it feels unfair to you, and maybe.
Following his defeat with a damaged eye, Teofimo acknowledged his strategy backfired, conceded the superior fighter prevailed, and displayed class in defeat with genuine sportsmanship.
Thoughts on tonight?
Just grateful to be here, man. That's all.
You put on a performance tonight and unfortunately came up short, but what was it that surprised you about Shakur Stevenson?
Nothing at all, man. Just didn't come with the right plan. That's all. Better man won tonight. Good fan.
Do you feel like you'd like to run it back at some point with Shakur? I know you're someone that always wants to event it. Like that time Kambosos beat you, you want to do it straight away, right?
We'll see what happens next, man. I'm going to let my team do the work on that.
Ryan Garcia posted on X, criticizing Teofimo's poor strategy and emphasizing the tactical errors that enabled Shakur Stevenson's effortless dominance. Terrence Crawford lauded Shakur Stevenson, declaring he transcends good to achieve greatness as the absolute best, with universal recognition of his supremacy now inevitable.
He's great. A lot of people started saying, oh, he's a runner, he's this, he's that. Just to detour people from being excited to see him fight because he's not knocking people out and all that crazy stuff. But they would see why people really don't want to get in the ring with him come tomorrow.
I know you've shared the ring with him, sparring plenty of times. What makes Shakur Stevenson great? What makes him different? What makes him, I don't want to say an ilk of yourself, but in the same kind of era, the Bud Crawford era, he's got a Shakur Stevenson era coming through.
Everything. The offense, the defense, the poise, the rhythm, the distance, the timing, the punch placement, the react time. Like, I can go on and on. You know, the toughness, the grit, the grind. Like, he's amazing, you know, and tomorrow he will show.
Wade Plemons declares Shakur Stevenson could legitimately be the planet's finest boxer currently, having dismantled Teofimo Lopez with stunning ease as Shakur's victory establishes his elite status. Andre Ward responds live, calling Shakur exceptional and predicting continued excellence.
He better leave that alone.
What did you think of Shakur's performance
He
tonight?
did what he had to do, man. You know, there's always room for improvement. You know, I think he had a lot of stuff he could have did, but he's so talented and gifted, man. You know, you also got to trust what he's seeing in there. You know, we're on the outside, you know. But I think he put on a tremendous performance, and obviously, you know, the level he's at, you always look for things he could do better, you know.
What did you see from the outside that he might?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, like I think it was a lot of body work and stuff like that. He could have touched on, but again, he's in there, you know. So he's seeing stuff, he's feeling the punches. We not, so you got to trust what he's seeing.
Teofimo just couldn't get going.
He put on well, he tried to get going. He just wasn't allowed to. So it's just the distance and range that Shakur has just perfected throughout the years, and then making him pay when he does that discourages him to not want to punch anymore. And I think he was out of answers in the first round.
Andre Ward positions Shakur among the globe's elite quartet of fighters, predicting sustained dominance ahead.
Honestly, I think he didn't really have any answers. When Teo starts doing little certain things with his hands and starts playing the clown game, he out of answers. He's down to just one shot. So Shakur just stayed focused, stayed locked in. And, you know, was that 4 divisions now? 26, 30, 35, 40?
How good is Shakur? I interviewed Terence Crawford
We
and he
don't
said
know.
he could be the greatest of all time.
We don't know. He's not done yet. You know, he's not done yet. He's a great for sure. How great, we're going to see. You know, he got a lot. He can box as long as he wants to box.
Lennox Lewis responds to Shakur Stevenson's dismantling of Teofimo Lopez, explaining the difficulty of neutralizing such exceptional movement while anticipating Shakur's continued supremacy.
Man, let me tell you, Shakur moved so well. He won every round, and he was just a step ahead with quickness and just with, you know, just the plan himself. Great plan coming in, and he did well. Congratulations to him.
He won all the rounds? Is that what you're saying? He won all 12 rounds?
Well, maybe he lost one, but he won the majority of rounds.
At what time did you realize that this was just going to be Shakur taking over the whole fight?
After the 4th round.
After the 4th round?
Yeah.
Teofimo, it seems like he couldn't just get it going. Like, he just tried differently going up and down. The counters were getting him.
Yeah.
What could he done differently tonight?
I don't know. You know, it's difficult to box against a great mover like that. And, you know, he tried. He definitely tried. His dad was emotional. You know, he wanted him to do better, but, you know, this is boxing.
Keyshawn Davis shows no surprise whatsoever, having anticipated exactly this type of masterful performance from Shakur, demonstrating his superior skill and total dominance.
Jermaine was like, all right, like for real. So I wasn't surprised at all. And plus his eye was shut, it was bleeding, like it was time to stop.
Incredible performance.
Eddie Hearn responds, admitting certainty about Shakur's victory, but never expecting such overwhelming brilliance. Shakur surpassed all predictions with magnificent dominance, earning Eddie's praise for his technique, quickness, and complete mastery throughout the bout.
I was fully confident he'd win the fight. I didn't think he'd win it as widely as that. I thought, you know, I mean, look, Teo's a great fighter. He made him look average in there. And that's because Shakur is so good. His IQ is so good. His footwork is so good. I actually think he could have stopped Teo if he would have pushed on the gas a little bit, but didn't need to. It was so easy. He's a 4-division world champion at 28 years of age. Phenomenal.
What was His Excellency saying ringside watching it?
Just that he's so good, you know, and I think sometimes people think that you know, Teo can do a little bit more, but like every time he tried to, he was just getting countered, peppered, and yeah, it was phenomenal to watch.
Conor Benn always managed to come away.
Started on a few people tonight, yeah.
Shakur Stevenson, so I just spoke to him there. He said his style's boring. He said if you like boxing, he gets it, but other than that, it's easy work for him. That fight realistic?
Yeah, why not? Look, for me, I still dream of Conor Benn winning a world title.
Zach Schumacher. You may critique the showing, but never question the courage. Boxing requires more warriors like Teofimo, ready to sacrifice everything. He provided the spectacle fans craved, displaying valor and resolve that demands respect regardless of outcome, because total commitment makes this sport magnificent. Teddy Atlas responds live, voicing frustration with Teofimo's lackluster showing so far, calling it problematic. With all the pre-fight theatrics and paternal antics, more substance was required. Though plenty of rounds remain, this opening disappoints. Atlas notices a minor clash of heads, likely Teofimo's error from charging forward recklessly. While some officials prefer aggressors over technicians, Atlas insists aggression must be smart, not wild.
Listen, Bud, what you said, some people said 2-2. I understand. I think it's a shutout. Shakur won this round so far, but a little headbutt there, I guess. A warning from the ref. And that's probably the fault of Teo, be honest. He's rushing in head heavy, top heavy. But some judges like the aggressor more than the tactician. But for me, it's got to be effective aggression. It can't just be aggression. And a little bit better close to the round by by Lopez. That was
it was. He went to the body better. He had a little success.
Atlas praises Shakur's bodywork with the right hand, emphasizing Shakur's technical superiority in controlling distance, landing to the body, and utilizing his right effectively. He notes Teofimo's father shouting instructions to hit Shakur, but hopes for superior tactical guidance because Teofimo desperately needs it. Regarding scoring, Atlas suggests Teofimo marginally improved late but remains behind overall. He stresses Shakur's jab as fundamental, with both understanding its importance, but Shakur's mastery maintains control. For Teofimo's survival, adaptation and capitalizing on minor successes while countering Shakur's accuracy becomes essential, otherwise Shakur's superiority persists with Teofimo facing insurmountable odds.
His friend Terence Crawford, the great Terence Crawford, and I think they were making fun, to be honest. I think they were chiding Lopez and his father. I think they were chiding Lopez and his father a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk before this fight and some nasty stuff said on both sides. But you'd like to think after the fight that they gained some respect and put that to bed. Terence Crawford doesn't lose, huh?
Clarissa Shields beams with pride over Shakur Stevenson's commanding triumph against Teofimo Lopez, declaring Shakur didn't merely win, but completely dominated, demonstrating his world-class status. She celebrates his accuracy, velocity, and tactical genius, observing how smoothly he commanded the action and rhythm throughout. Shields recognizes performances like this cement Shakur's elite positioning, establishing him as both champion and definitively among the division's top quartet. She admires his defensive excellence combined with crisp offensive execution, maximizing every opportunity while maintaining composure under fire. Even Teofimo's adjustments proved futile against Shakur's ring intelligence and untouchable ability, representing a clear exhibition of Shakur's talent, heart, and standing among today's premier boxers.
Yeah, I know boxing, and like I told y'all, we was gonna see a little bit of athleticism, but we was gonna see Shakur be using his jab, going to the body, and we saw blood today. Shakur did great today. Only thing I can ask for is a stoppage. I can't ask for nothing else.
What did you think about, obviously, Teo's eye? He never seemed to be able to get into it at all. Is that kind of like the experience you had?
He won a round or two, maybe, but that's it. Shakur dominant. He was able to hit him clean first round, able to avoid shots. Shakur is just on his A game. He's sharper, he's stronger, he's better, and now he's a 4-division world champion. I'm so proud of him.
Paulie Malignaggi responds to Shakur Stevenson's showing, labeling it a clinic of epic magnitude beyond his wildest expectations. Despite anticipating potential dominance, this performance reached unprecedented levels of excellence that surpassed all predictions. Malignaggi celebrates Shakur's technical genius, noting Teofimo's futile efforts against Shakur's movement, style, and incredible defensive wizardry.
What I just watched was a freaking masterclass beyond epic proportions. I thought Shakur might do something like this, but even this exceeded my expectations. You know, I thought it may be, if Shakur had a really good night, make it look easy and win 9-3, 10-2. This was 12-0, 11-1, and I mean, it was next level type stuff. Teo was trying everything. The various wrinkles to Shakur's style are unbelievable. I mean, I know people like to say he runs. That's because they don't understand what they're watching. I rarely, in my mind, have I ever seen Shakur literally run. Is he defensive? Yes, because he doesn't open up into crazy offensive routines. Okay, yes, so that makes him defensive, but he never really runs. So he's a master of position. I'm always trying to talk about and explain to people that being a master of position is so important, you know, not breaking your position. And what I mean by that is when you make a defensive move, you're not all over the place.
Malignaggi clarifies misconceptions about Shakur, allegedly running, educating critics who misunderstand boxing fundamentals. Shakur employs defensive brilliance, control, and positional mastery rather than retreat, maintaining perfect balance and punching readiness while keeping opponents confused and unable to attack effectively. True defensive excellence preserves offensive capability without compromising stance, unlike inferior fighters who resort to awkward positioning or actual running. He compares Shakur to Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford, acknowledging Crawford's slightly greater offensive output while emphasizing positional mastery's importance at championship levels. Paulie highlights Shakur's southpaw jab as crisp, precise, adaptable, and nearly impossible to neutralize, calling him an extraordinary defensive specialist whose tactical brilliance exceeded all expectations.
When your position is great, it doesn't necessarily mean you punch every time you make a defensive move, but every defensive move you make leaves you balanced enough and in a position enough to be able to punch if you want to, if you have the option to punch. And your opponent sees that, and that's why your opponent doesn't attack as aggressively, because sometimes they do get countered, sometimes they don't. You keep them guessing, but your position is always a position that you can punch off of. When guys aren't great at position, even when they make guys miss or whatever, they'll wind up in contorted position situations where we're not able to punch. That's not a really great defensive fighter, and a lot of times they wind up running and going to flight and so on and so forth. That leads to those kind of lapses where pressure fighters end up getting to guys. But even if you're not a huge puncher, if you're a master of position, you're always going to have the edge. It's just how much of a master are you going to be. Shakur is a next level master of position. He's a defensive specialist. I think the broadcast made a good point.
Shakur Stevenson thoroughly dismantled Teofimo Lopez in their encounter, displaying accuracy, timing, and exceptional ring intelligence, as his sharp jab controlled distance and established combinations before Lopez could launch meaningful attacks from the opening bell. Lopez attempted early pressure, but his lowered lead hand and overcommitment created vulnerabilities to Stevenson's crisp, snapping jab throughout their exchanges.
Wasn't the most entertaining fight because it was really a slow-paced type of a fight, pop-shotting, kind of in Shakur Stevenson's pace. And Teofimo Lopez needed to do something different in this fight. He needed to get, Shakur out of his character. He needed to push the pace, which he did in round one, but wasn't successful. He was jumping into his punch. His lead hand was down, and he was getting clipped with every stiff jab possible. I mean, Shakur Stevenson definitely got one of the best jabs in boxing. I've been saying this for a while now, and it's really due to the snap of the punch and the relaxation. He's so relaxed in the pocket. He's so relaxed in
the bout's rhythm suited Stevenson perfectly, as he controlled tempo through relaxed, smooth movement, without forcing action, while maintaining excellent defensive angles. His timing proved flawless, enabling effortless counterpunching that neutralized Lopez's pressure completely. Though perhaps lacking constant fireworks, the fight showcased Stevenson's technical mastery, validating his jab as boxing's finest today. Despite Lopez finding brief, early success, Stevenson's range and rhythm control established clear dominance from beginning to end in a boxing clinic, demonstrating his exceptional skill and tactical brilliance inside the squared circle.
Shout out to Teofimo Lopez. He tried his best. Shout out to Turkey Al-Sheikh for putting on the fight. But this was definitely a masterclass. If anything, Teofimo Lopez might have won one round out of this whole fight. But Shakur, just a masterclass. Now, he calls out Conor Benn. Conor Benn comes into the ring, says, "You too small." But also, Shakur Stevenson says he wants that rehydration clause, the same rehydration clause you put Chris Eubank through. So, I don't know if this fight's going to happen due to the fact that, I don't know if, Conor Benn is really willing to do that, knowing that, Conor Benn is #1 in the WBC, looking for that Ryan Garcia.
That concludes today's coverage. Keep watching for our next update.